Easy Cooking with Robert. I am Robert, this is Eddie. Today we are covering how to boil water. Because some people mess that up. Yes, I'm talking to you, my ex-girlfriend, that boiled water and burned the pot and burned it all the way down and smoked the entire house. And you didn't think I would tell people. I hope we get 1 million viewers just so everyone knows that someone I know burned water in a pot. Comment down below if you know her name. So, boil water. Put water in a pot. Some people start with cold water. I start with hot water because it takes less time on the stove. And then you have to turn on the flame. Now, how much flame? You see I'm turning it down some? You'd think you'd want max flame. But you want the bottom of the flame to be on the bottom of the pot, not up the sides. If it's up the sides, you're wasting energy. The good trick to do on a gas stove is just turn off the overhead light briefly for a second so you can get the flame just right. It'll boil faster that way than if I crank it up to higher. Another way to make water boil faster, put a lid on it.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of pot sets come with the lids. I always lose the lids. I just get a universal lid and they fit any pot up to this big. They make the lids even bigger. They're cheap. They're like $2 or $4 at Walmart on a big box store. Salt. Most recipes call for salted water, like especially if it's pasta or spaghetti. And by salted, they mean as salty as the ocean. So you can either add the salt at the beginning or at the end. When do you think you add it?
At the beginning.
Wrong. You add it at the end. If you add it at the beginning, it's going to sit at the bottom. Which, hold out your hand, this is kosher salt. It's thicker and heavier than table salt. And it'll sit at the bottom and not dissolve. And that will prevent heat transfer between the bottom of the pot and the water, so your water will boil slower. If you add the salt after the water is already boiling, it'll almost instantly dissolve. So now, we're going to put the lid on. And we're going to test the fact. Does a watched pot boil? Well, let's come in and watch it for the next 30 seconds and see. Does a watched pot boil? Well, there you have it, science. A watched pot does not boil. We just solved science today. Yay, science! All right, test number 2. Does a watched pot boil? We're watching the pot.
I'm not.
Well, you gotta watch the pot, otherwise it won't boil. Watch the pot. Watch the pot. Are you watching the pot? Are you watching the pot? It made it boil. Watching pot makes it boil. Science. We did a thing. We boiled water. Now we can add salt and make pasta stuff.
Whoa, Paul. Whoa, Paul.
And
Done.
done.